do the presentation today, and at the end of it all, Kwabena will be filling in with 1 or 2 areas I might have missed out. And after that, I think it would be good to ask questions after I'm done with the session. Today we have 2 sessions. We're going to be looking at 2 sessions. The first session is looking at Microsoft Workplace Analysis or Analytics. And then we'll do a whole session on that one. Then after that one, we'll be looking at Dell training. And then we'll also do another session on that one. But the content of what we are going to be looking at would be in sessions as well per application we are looking at. So I'll start with MyAnalytics. And in MyAnalytics, we are going to be looking at what is MyAnalytics and then how does it work. And then from there, we'll be looking at why do we need to even learn MyAnalytics. Then I'll be doing a demo of the MyAnalytics for us. Then we'll be looking at the analytics dashboard, and then we'll summarize basically what we've learned today in a video demo. But before we start, I'm just curious. I just want to know if you've ever answered yes to any of these questions I'm about to ask. In your corporate work life in AHH, have you ever missed an important email that has come to you that needs to be responded immediately? It's a rhetorical question though. So, and have you ever, that's 1, 2, have you ever gotten a commitment you've made to a colleague forgotten? Have you ever forgotten a commitment you made to a colleague through email and then you just forgot to honor the commitment? Have you ever also missed reminders from your managers? Have you also missed reminders that is coming directly to you from your co-workers or your top collaborators? And do you also want to be notified when there's a coming meeting for which a quorum is not formed? Now, the question is, if you've answered yes to any of these questions, then you are at the right place. Microsoft Workplace Analytics will help you stay on top of these. And to begin with, like I said, we'll be looking at what is Microsoft Analytics. And the important thing that you need to know in summary is that Microsoft Analytics is part of the Office 365 suite of applications, and it's cloud-based. Here, you don't download it like how we download Teams. It's just you use it as part of the cloud suite of productivity applications that are available. And formerly, it was designed and called Delve Analytics. And it was designed to help both employees and managers gain insights on how to work, how they spend their time at work, and then how to optimize or how they can optimize their work. And then it was also designed to make employees and managers work more efficiently. That is Microsoft Analytics. But the question is, how does it work? And the truth is, it uses your everyday clicks that you make on the whole Microsoft 360 application suite in Word, in Excel, when you're having meetings. And so when you're having meetings and stuff like that, what the Microsoft Analytics will do is that it maps out your collaborative patterns that impact on productivity. And then it's able to also see your workforce effectiveness, and then see also how you engage with different people within the organizations and how you work in teams. So your use of Office 365 every single day Microsoft Analytics is collecting data, which we shall see shortly. And also, the thing too is that when you are in your email, what you do during your emails, the time you spend on your emails, you see that Microsoft Analytics, as you should be looking at later, is collecting information on your work patterns. And it uses artificial intelligence and what we call machine learning to be able to do this. Now, the reason why I think the IT department thinks we should learn this, this application is that it will give you insights on how you work, the time you spend on emails, the time you spend in meetings. It also gives you insights on your, here we are not using Skype calls that much, but in chats. But very soon, Microsoft has announced that all your activities within Teams, like calls within Teams, chats within Teams, and then documents that you circulate within Teams will also form part of the Microsoft Analytics suite. So it's able to give you insights as to what you do there, and as well as SharePoint. So based on this, with this background, I'll share my screen and I will begin looking at, we'll do a demo on what Microsoft Analytics is all about. So currently, I'm using my Rabito email account in my Teams. So to get into MyAnalytics, you can do that in 3 ways: through your Outlook emails, and through your Outlook emails, that is when you are composing basically an email. If you look here, you see that you have MyAnalytics. Now, the results, when you're using analytics, the end point of analytics is the insights you get from the analytics. So if you see insights, it's the same as MyAnalytics, just for you to be aware. And then you can also get your analytics through your Microsoft 365 application. That's when you log in to your Microsoft Office here, and then you go to all your applications. You can get MyAnalytics, which is the same as the insights, through this angle. And another way is through your calendar. That is when you are booking an email, like when you're booking an appointment, you can also get your analytics through that. So here, if you notice at the top, as it will show very soon, you will see that insights, which is MyAnalytics, is part of it. Now, before I continue, I'll just want to explain something about MyAnalytics with regards to scheduling assistant. Now, scheduling assistant is part of the AI like productivity tools that Microsoft has implemented. Now, this is what I noticed in AHH. I just noticed that when people are booking an appointment, they just come here and then invite people and then book their appointments here. But one thing that you need to take into consideration is people's free time. Your scheduling assistant is able to help you do that. So just by clicking, this is my Rabito login details. So you don't see much here because I used AHH more than the Rabito. So here, it is always, I would advise that you come here and then use this to book an appointment, because this allows you to see people's free time. So for example, we have 2 types of attendees. We have those who are required to be in attendance, and then those who are optional. So the required ones, I can select, if I select Emmanuel Mills, this instantly, I can see his free times. You get it? And then there's a legend here that tells you what this means. Outside the meeting hours, no information, working elsewhere, away. So this one, depending on the number of people that you want to be there, it can tell you what people's free times are and stuff like that. And then if the person is not free, you would also see instantly. So now, from time to time, sometimes when you are booking, you see a suggestion there. Microsoft Assistant will ask you if you need assistance in finding out people's free time. So to pop up is one of the pop-up things that you do. And then you also have some optional attendance that you can add. So my point is this: if you pick a particular time, you notice that I'm free, Mills is not free, this person is free. And knowing their free times, you can, at least if you are booking, it will help you to get a greater attendance than just booking an appointment at random. Okay, so still with the insights, which is the Microsoft Analytics. There are things that there are important things that you need to bear in mind. Now, we have what we call inline suggestion. Like, for example, if I click on this, it will display to this side an inline suggestion. An inline suggestion simply means that it will basically do its work and then create some insights for me. So here it's saying that it hasn't got much insights, but there are more insights that normally would appear here. Let me just go back to it and see. Okay, so it's the first, there are different types of insight. Now, the important thing that you need to note here is that everybody's analytics is different. Like, for example, currently at this time, these are the insights that is just giving me. Get reminded of tasks and then unread emails. If this is important, I'll just mark as important. And it's telling me that's all for now. But in my, because I don't use this very often, in my AHH one, I have more like insights that can be displayed. Let me just see if I can pivot to my AHH email and then see what insights I can get. So in here, I come here, then I go to my, let me see what insights it will give me. So here is checking, he is giving me more insights because I use this very often. Now, if you look here, are you guys still with me? Hello?
Yeah, we're here, Patrick. We're just
can you see my screen?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. So if you look here, this is what is called the inline suggestion.
But I don't think the screen we're seeing is the one you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Just a minute.
You're probably just sharing a window and not your desktop.
Okay, yes, it's true. Let me. So can you see the screen now?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So if you look here, you see that it's giving me a lot more suggestions than my Ravito one. Now here it's telling me that they are, now don't forget the goal of this MyAnalytics is to help me work better and more efficient. So here it's giving me some insights as to how I've worked. Now it's telling me I have 12 unread emails that might be important. So I can just simply go here and then open them here and read. You get it? That's one option. Or I can just basically ignore them. And sometimes it will give you a suggestion here, especially if it's coming from someone that I have not considered as important. And it will show me, is this particular email important? If I mark as not important, it will not show emails from that particular person. But also within insights, it also gives you the opportunity to indicate who are important within my network, and I can train it to be able to do that. Now here, so all I just have to do is to mark as important, so that anytime I get emails from that, it will also possibly send it to my tags. So here, for example, it also would suggest some certain tasks that needs to be accomplished. So once you click on mark as done, then it will not appear again. Now, this normally happens when it's gone past, when the time you are supposed to do the task time has elapsed. So once you click on mark as done, so once time has elapsed, then it will bring those emails here. You get it? It will bring those emails here. Now, there are also other suggestions that it will come. For example, there are some documents people will send to you that you are supposed to read. And if for one reason or the other, you've not read those documents, it will show up here and then demanding your attention. And you can also open the document through the email or book a time to look at the document. These are, like I said, insights from inline suggestions. And then what follow-up request that has been made. Now, don't forget, the AI, artificial intelligence, uses some intelligent ways to be able to help you build up these times, these particular things I'm talking about. And then we have what is known as the quiet times. Quiet times, I'll be talking about it very soon, are times that you can take out of your busy schedule to so that you will not be disturbed, so that you can concentrate on some certain things. Now, during your quiet times, when people send you emails outside your quiet times, it would show those emails here for you to be able to respond to later. Your quiet times are times that nobody should basically disturb you on. Okay, so now for you to be able to build more and understand more about insights, then I would basically go to my Ravito and then approach insights from this angle, which is MyAnalytics. Now, the MyAnalytics, let me show you there. Hello, can you see my screen? Hello?
Yeah, we can see the screen.
Okay. So this is the dashboard, MyAnalytics dashboard that we are looking at. Now, MyAnalytics dashboard helps us to be able to do the following. Now, it helps us to properly understand what this is all about. For example, it will welcome you to your analytics. Now, there's a difference between the analytics and the MyAnalytics. The MyAnalytics is only what I'm seeing here. I'm the only one that would see it. What you would see on your dashboard is different from what basically I am seeing here. So, and which is why it is specific to you, MyAnalytics. So the MyAnalytics gives you more data-driven insights to help you manage your work, and then to help you stay focused and to help you work better. So what it simply does is that it will dig deeper into your work patterns and then being able to disconnect and help you recharge, which I'll be talking about these 4 quadrants in a jiffy. So to begin with, in the MyAnalytics, we have what is known as your focus times. Now, I don't know, everybody works differently, but what Microsoft has done is that they've discovered that in your work patterns, there are some, you need to devote like two hours of your time where you can actually focus on work that you do or focus on your work that you get done. So they would use this particular analytics dashboard to help you to be able to make those times available. So for example, here, do you have enough uninterrupted time to get to work done? Which is a question. And then here, these are some suggestions. So here, I have trained it to tell, I've trained my analytics to tell it that, look, I work, I have some specific times that I work. And then because this is the Rabito one that I don't use often, I've just started this and turned this on. So it's now getting to know my work pattern in here. But in the AHH one, it will basically display how my last week work has gone and how my work pattern has been. So it will focus, normally I work from Monday to what? Friday. So within the 10 days, it will tell me how well I've done. And it will tell me my available focus time, which is 93% against my collaboration time. And it will give me a trend for the last 1 month. Now here, it has some certain like suggestions it's giving me. And it's telling me that your calendar usually fills up more than a week in advance. You get it? And I can view some more suggestions by clicking here. But if I click here to take me outside and this page, but it will give you the opportunity to read more information about that. Now, the interesting part is here. Because this is an AI, if I think this is not a useful suggestion and I click on it, then it will not give me any suggestion along these lines. But if I think it is important, it will steady me and then know that, oh, tips like this are important. So it will always give me tips along these lines. And this is one area that the Microsoft, the AI basically helps and learns from what I like and what I don't like. And an important tip is that if your calendar is fragmented with meetings, groupings, meetings, it can be more effective to enable longer free block times. Now, everybody's suggestions would be different. This is just something that is suggesting for me, and I can read more by clicking here. So in a nutshell, as far as the first quadrant is concerned, it's helping me to be able to know my focus. But it all comes with the way I work, and it will start learning on my email, Rabito email, how I work. So we have the well-being. Now, in as much as you get busy, and especially with this COVID-19 period, sometimes it's very difficult to distinguish, to make a distinction between you working and then you taking time to what? To attend to your kids or do other things, or to just divorce yourself from work. So with this one, it helps you to have a breakdown. This is one area that you can go to see how you've been able to manage. Now, because you're working online, you can see how your work pattern has been. So here, with this, it will measure how your work pattern has been 4 weeks in advance, and like 4 weeks previously. And it will be able to give you some statistics that you can basically look at. So here, it's telling me that out of my, I've spent 98% of my time in meetings, and then what? Emails. That is when I'm working within the Rabito domain. This is how I've basically spent my time. But it looks like I worked during my quiet times, which I'm not supposed to do. I spent 14.5 hours working during my quiet times. So, and it has some suggestions that it can give you. But if you are not satisfied with what is here and you want to train the analytics to give you better, you can come here and then alter your working hours. So here, for example, if you work part-time and then you only work on Friday, Thursday and Friday, then you have to deselect these for it to restrict your working hours, your working days to this. But here I'm not supposed to work on Saturdays and Sundays. And because I'm not working on Saturdays and Sundays, if you send me an email to my Rabito email, then it will flag this as outside my working hours, and it would then report that to me. And then also, your working hours also includes 8 a.m. and then 5 a.m. But if it's not the case, then you have to come and train your analytics to choose your proper working hours so that you'll be able to make a distinction between the time you work and the time that you have for your leisure and well-being. Now, what I have noticed is that I normally would allow AI to determine or book my focus times for me. So I would normally leave this as automatic booking. But if that is not the case, then you will have to leave this booking and then alter the plan. And then but it will steady how you normally would work as you go along. And if you don't think it's giving you proper results, then you can come and alter this. And then also time zones are also very critical. Here you have to ensure that the time zone that you are working with is basically spot on. If not so, it will be reporting time zones that are not correct. Still within that, the third quadrant is your networking relations. Now with networking relations, it will explore who normally you work with. So over here, within my Rabito working relation, you see that I spend more time with these people here. And that is my working time, more than 4 hours and beyond, is with these my colleagues that I have here. And then under 30 minutes. So it can also help you mark a new important collaborators. And this is important for you to be able to know those that you collaborate with. And in time, if it's changing and you look here, you will see that it's also changing. There are some useful tips here. It says you can building internal network connects you to new ideas and resources. And here he's telling me that out of my collaborators, I have 10 of them who are very active and 12 that I normally email and then chat for the past 12 months. And then it will flag that out. Then you can even look here to see the total time you spend with these people. Now, these are important suggestions. Now, if for one reason or the other, I feel like it's missing out Gilbert that I normally interact with, then I'll have to flag Gilbert as important. And it will bring him as one of the important people here. And as I start collaborating with him, you see that he will be here as well. Now, the reason why it's important that you choose those that are important is that so that once email comes from them, it will flag those emails as needing your attention, and it will only show those emails as in your suggestion, your inline suggestion, so that if there's a task that is coming from them that is not attended to, it will always flag it for you, which is why it is important. Now, also here is what we call the collaboration. Now here, it gives you a deeper insight as to how you collaborate. First and foremost, is that you typically have 35% of your work spent in meetings. And that's about 16 hours of each week. 30% of your work, your weekly meetings are recurring. So it's just giving me an insight, and these are just insights. And its co-workers can better prepare for meetings when they have good sense of who plans to attend. And the essence of this tip is to help me collaborate better. So here, I spend 1% of my collaboration emails, 2% on chats, and then 4% on meetings, as far as my available focus is concerned. And it gives me deeper insight. Meetings that I have high attendance is 2%. During working hours, that comes during working hours, is 11%. No emails or no chats during the meetings is 100%, and so on and so forth. That is me. But your MyAnalytics may be different. And if you look here, it further gives me my communication habits over emails sent, emails read, and chatting calls. So if you look here, it is very interesting the way analytics is able to help me work better. And to even hit the nail on the head, analytics, if you use it and use it properly, is going to transform the way you work as far as analytics is concerned. And it will help you to be more productive at your workplace. So in summary, I'll just run this video, which will give you a summary of what I've just looked at. So analytics, in short, just transforms the way you basically work as it gives you insights in the way you collaborate. So for the first session, this is where I want to bring curtains, the end to basically analytics, and then wait for questions before I pivot to the second session of it. Any questions? Okay, or I should continue.
I mean, I think you can continue. Does anybody have any questions?
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Patrick.
Thank you. So the second portion is what I'm going to be talking about is Microsoft Delve training. Now, in the past, analytics, Microsoft Analytics and Delve, they were developed as one application, but for one reason or the other, it was separated so that people are able to get deeper insights with analytics. And analytics also can be used as a standalone for organizations to understand collaboration across different networks and across how different people work. But it's also another application that Microsoft is selling as a standalone that we can buy. But for how you work effectively, MyAnalytics is what you are supposed to, is the go-to to help you work effectively. So with Microsoft Delve, we are going to be looking at what is Office Delve or Microsoft 360 Delve. And then I'm going to be looking at a demo straight away of this product. And in the demo, we'll be looking at how to update your profile in Delve, and then how to find people and information that you are looking for in Delve. And then sometimes too, when you are working with others, it's also interesting to know what documents they are working with that would interest you. So Delve is able to help you to see what documents other people are working with. So we'll be looking at how that is done. And then also while you're looking at other documents other people are working with, for which you have access, you can begin to group them into a pack so that you will be able to like do a research in a particular area. That is grouping and sharing the documents in Delve. We'll be looking at how that can be done. And then we can also get back to your request. For example, someone sends you a question on a particular document that you're working with. We'll look at how you can respond to those kind of questions. And then we're looking at some specific question and answers that many people have asked as far as Delve is concerned, which I know would also help us. And then we'll finally look at how Delve and then Microsoft Analytics have been immersed in our search engine in AHH. And Microsoft have done a very beautiful work of immersing all this experience that I'm talking about today on our search engine that we'll explore. So in order not to waste time, I would basically go straight into Delve. Now, Microsoft Delve is one of the applications that we find in our 360 degrees. Where is it? Come on, Delve. So it's one of the applications we find in our 3.6 apps. Now, the thing about Delve is that it's an application that helps you. So the question is, what is Microsoft Delve? Delve is an application in the Office 3.6 suite of applications that you can find under productivity section that is used to help you manage and organize information that are most important and interesting to you. And then you can see that, and the good news is that I can only see the information that are important or that I am allowed to see sitting on other people or other information, people's information that they have shared with me and in my own applications. I cannot see any information or data that I'm not allowed to see. And no one can also see information that is private to you, that is information that you have not shared. So if you open Delve, you see these two main sections. And this is the document pane. And this is more or less like the left menu that you do all your navigations from. Now, here, to begin with, we are going to learn how to customize this Delve. And in your home tab, this is your home tab. Basically, the home tab allows you to be able to do a lot. And before you can do that, there is what is known as the Me tab. The Me tab here is normally, if I had added my picture, you see my picture here. But the Me tab here is just restricts me to all the documents that I can see and no one else can see. For example, all the documents I have been working on, and it gives me a profile of me. And there are some certain information that is within my profile here. So this is your this particular pane is broken down into two sections: my profile tab, and then this is my document and attachment file. And I'll spend some time in my profile tab here. Now here we have, I can begin by updating my profile by adding a picture here that would appear here. And it's always good to add pictures because people can just see the picture and then without even looking at the name, and they know who they are dealing with. But here it just gives you a short profile about yourself. Now here your email address, and then your OneDrive, that is about me. and then basically where I am at as far as my time slot is. And then it gives me some information about me. And basically, I'm sure everybody at AHH knows that I like my coffee. I just did this yesterday. And also, it also gives me the opportunity for people who see my profile to be able to see the projects I'm working on and my expertise in the school I attended. Now, this can be updated. Now, in here, we have your personal information. Now, for example, my date of birth. Because of data protection law requires us that this particular piece of information is information that I can choose for people to see or not to see. So if I don't want anyone to see the information here, then I have to say only you can see this information. So nobody can see this information if I choose this. But if I say everyone, if I click on this, then everyone can see this information. Now, the information that is here, the IT department has made it visible for people because these are just very basic information that only those within AHH or Rabito can see. For example, the department that you belong to, your position, your name, and then also your contact information. Now, this is one of the very sensitive data items that you can decide who can see and who should not see. But this is information that IT can restrict. And then another one that you can also restrict is if you enter your phone number here, you have the chance, your home phone, you have the chance to restrict who can see and who should not see. Now, it's important that you take your time. You and I take our time to go through this page. The reason is that because you will normally use your Dell to collaborate, do a lot of collaboration. And I can change this at any time and add projects that I'm working on. Maybe let's say you can add it, so that people know the projects you are basically working, and then my skills and expertise. It's important for people to also know your skills and expertise so that across the whole organization, we can know who to tap on when we are looking for a certain level of work expertise. And so on and so forth. So as far as my profile is concerned, this is where I can edit it, and that's what we see basically here. Now, apart from that too, I can also change this cover. It's customized. You can customize it by choosing any of these. That's me. I like coffee, so I've chosen the coffee one. You can decide to choose whichever one you want. But this is my personal space, so which is why I'm changing it to suit mine. And now the question is that next big question is, how can I find people and information in Office Dell? If in here, if I want to find people that I want to collaborate with or work with, in Dell, you can go here and it will basically list the important people that you consider as important first. But if that person is not there, then you can search for the person here. And once you search, it will also display basic information and documents they are working with here. But as far as Dell is concerned, you can search for people or you can search for like information they are working with. Now, the important thing is this. If you can also, for example, if let's say Karen, I can come here and then like click on Karen's picture, or because I said Nati is important, I can also click on him here to go to the documents he's working with, or Rabito Administrator Kumasi, and then it will display the documents they are working with, and so on and so forth. Now, but the good news is this, that in here, let me pick someone who has, in here, I can see all the documents that they are working with that I have, that she's allowed me to see. Karen has allowed me to see. If I click here, it can list all the most recent documents that she's working on that have been shared with. And I can also filter this further by looking at it's either if it's an Excel or Word document, you get it. It will give me display only Excel. If it's a Word document I'm looking for, it will display only Word. And if it's a PowerPoint document I'm looking for, it will display only PowerPoint. And then please note, if I'm not allowed to see any document, she's not allowed me to see any document, I will not see that document here. And then also note that I can see documents, these are documents and attachments, or documents only. You get it? And so these documents only are documents that didn't come through the email. You get it? And alternatively, if I want to see only documents, I can click on this. Now, documents with attachments has the following on the following scorecard. Now here, if I want to go back to this particular document and then see the email that came with it, then just by clicking on this link, it will take me, this link, it will take me to the particular email that generated this document. You get it? And so every document that has this particular contents, it can take me there. And then mostly, these are documents that basically would open the email in SharePoint. And then it will also give you the opportunity to see who else can see this document. And so on and so forth. So here, there are other things, interesting things to hear about documents. So let's go to a particular documents, or let's even go to my home. Now, my home here will display the most recent documents that have been shared with me or I'm viewing. Now you can click on the picture icon to go to the details of the person, or in here you can do the following interesting things. If, for example, this particular document is of interest to me that I always want to display in my favorite column, let me pick this particular one. Once I click on this, in my favorites, if I click on my favorite column, that particular document would always display there. You get it, my favorite. Now these are, the favorite has all the, so if there are many, it will all be displayed here so that you can always go back and forth on the particular document. And also another thing to that you can do is sometimes within AHH or Rabito, you'll be asked to do a research on a particular subject. And then as you can see, you will notice that for one reason or the other, someone else is working on a document that he or she has shared with you that is of particular interest. What you can do is that you can begin to collect do a research by collecting search information. By clicking, if I click on this, it will start creating a board pack for me automatically. So I can say maybe KPIs board pack. And then once I click here, it will display all my board packs here. Let me see. And then the board pack, for example, helps you to be able to collect informations that are similar. So this is an example of a board pack. Let's say KP. Okay, it's not allowing me to add. Okay, so the next time I come here, and then I think maybe this particular information, which is this, is of interest to me. I can always select it, and then select my board pack of KPIs, and then it will appear there. So this basically helps you gather a lot of information across AHH and Rabito that you are working with. That would help you do your research and basically do it well. Now, the other thing too that you can do is that it's also important that sometimes you've been very busy, and then the following day you want to go back to a particular document that you've been working with. So anytime you click here and then click on me, it will display the most recent documents that you've been working with, and also here the most recent people that are available or near you that you are collaborating with. So here, if they are working on a document that the AI, artificial intelligence things may be important to you, it will flag these people working on documents that it thinks may be important to you. So you can discover those documents or discover people working on documents that it thinks are important to you. Now, the biggest question that people normally will ask is that, will the content on my desk folder show? So if I have content documents sitting on my desktop, will it show in Dell? The question is no. Will it show on other people's Dell or in my own Dell? The information that will show in your own Dell are those that you normally have sitting on your OneDrive. So if the document is not sitting on your OneDrive, it will not show. Now, someone will also want to know that, someone else told me that there is an important document someone is working on that has to do with how to do presentation, and then he has found it. But how come I don't find it? The reason why you will not find it is because the person hasn't shared it with you. And for that matter, you don't have access to that. So sometimes you also notice that your Delve, once you open your Delve will be empty. And it will only be empty, that is if you don't do a lot of collaboration with your colleagues. But if you are collaborating with your colleagues very often, then you see that it will begin to pile up. Your Delve information like this, you begin to see interesting information like this that would interest you. So, and here, this also has to do with, here clicking this, you see a lot of your office colleagues that you collaborate with. You can click here to see the documents they are working with and editing that they've shared with you that will interest you, and so on and so forth. And as you can see, Delve will be useful for us all if we basically pick it up and use it collaboratively. Now, what is also very interesting is this. With the training that I've just done on Dell and Office 365 and then Microsoft Analytics, you will notice that Microsoft have built this, the current search engine they are building. They are also making it possible for you to be able to go into your search engine like this and then basically find information that you are looking for as well. So for example, if I come here and I'm searching for example, administrator, because I've signed into my browser and I've also signed into my Office 365, I can straight away search information here from my organization or search information here on files or any files that is within me that I'm searching for. You get it? Okay, just let me share my screen probably on this particular one. Let me share my screen again. So can you see now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that, because I changed screen. So here, the interesting fact is this: these two applications I did, Delve and then Analytics, have been applied in the Microsoft search engine. That once you log into your browser, your existing browser, and you also log into your Office 365 applications, and then you click on search, it can give you a general search, all right, but you can also be more specific. For example, anything concerning administrator, it can pick it off from my organization. You get organizational context from files, any file that has the administrator mentioned, or groups, or even calendar. If it has to do with calendar, it will give you the calendar in perspective. But the interesting side is this: people that have anything to do with, for example, these are WA administrators and better administrator. Because I said administrator, and I have visibility across, or because I'm a global administrator, I have visibility across all the domains, which is why CarePoint is showing. But note, if you only are in Rabito, it will only give you visibility on your documents, not other people's documents. So putting all this together, I feel like Delve and then what Microsoft Analytics is something that when you and I basically put into use, is going to help us to be more efficient. And I just want to say thank you for listening. Any questions? Hello.
Yeah, Patrick, that was a deep dive. So thank you for going through analytics as well as Delve. As you mentioned, the line is now open for questions. So does anyone have any questions about anything you've seen today? Okay, so I guess we'll take that as, it was easy to understand, and obviously the video will be available to you after this call in case you want to go back and review it. I know sometimes it's hard to take all the information in at once, so the videos, I hope they've been beneficial for that. Even me, myself, I've been able to go back to some of the videos we've made and get some reminders on stuff, before I even ask Patrick or Kwabena. I can always go look back on the videos. So last call for questions. Anything that's come up in your mind?
Or maybe Kwabena has something to add. Kwabena.
No, Patrick, it's okay. I don't have anything to add.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. If there are no questions on the line, I guess we will end the call early. You guys have 27 minutes back in your day. And yeah, happy Monday, and I hope you have a great week. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Kwabena.
Okay. Thank you
too.